Hello, my name is Collection Connoisseur. I collect digital thingamabobs and video games. Today I'm playing Monster Train. This time on Monster Train we're going to try another expert challenge. The next one down. What is the next one down that we haven't won? Pure Chance. Volatile gauge, predetermined paths, and a random champion. Okay, interesting. We'll do it. Pure Chance. Start with volatile gauge. We don't get to choose what path we take on the map, and we get a random champion that is not from our primary or allied clan, which is interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to play as Hellhorned Wurmkin, and we've never done the primary. Granted, we're not going to get the Hornbreaker Prince here, but we're going to get Fracture and Torch as our two starting cards, and some random champion other than the Hornbreaker Prince, which is fine with me. The Hornbreaker Prince is not my favorite. So let's go. Your chance. We got Welder Helper. That's one of my favorite imps to find. Bounding Echoes. It's pretty nice when we're playing with the Wurmkin to have a Bounding Echoes, I guess. And Inflame is okay. I don't know how I feel about Inflame in a vacuum yet. The final boss is Seraph the Temperant, who gives our units sap. And Seraph the Temperant, luckily I have won against Seraph the Temperant 10 times now, so I no longer have to win this one to get what I wanted. I would still like to win though. So the main problem with Bounding Echoes is Volatile Gauge. I guess Inflame is a lot better because we have Volatile Gauge. Interesting. I did not think about that when I was thinking about Bounding Echoes before, but I really should think about things that are expensive as being better than usual because of Volatile Gauge. Alright, who's our champion anyway? Little Fade. Little Fade is our champion. Well, that's interesting. The main problem is we can't get Little Fade back. Oh no, Little Fade is terrible if you don't have a way to get her back, right? Oh no. Little Fade. Little Fade is so bad. Oh, but we can do Internal Flame. Right. So any upgrade other than Eternal Flame on Little Fade would actually be pretty bad, but because Eternal Flame gives Endless, it's actually useful. Alright. I was worried that Little Fade would be terrible for us. Alright, let's look at what that is. Extinguish. So every time she dies, she gets more attack and health. Okay. But that's not permanent, it's just every time she dies in a battle, she gets more attack and health. Advanced Prototype is interesting. Boon of the Blacksmith is surprisingly good. I don't really like Sinner's Salve. I guess that it's probably a lot better because we have Volatile Gauge. I don't really want to do Advanced Prototype, but it would definitely help us get past the first few. And maybe getting past the first few is what we need the most. I'm not sure. Let's pick Advanced Prototype. Spells get an extra upgrade slot, or Dun Echo. Dun Echo is pretty good when you get it at the very beginning, but I do like Lightstone Casing a lot. Let's take Dun Echo. Do that at the very beginning. Alright. I think we're going to do fine in the first few battles because of Advanced Prototype. So let's turn on this, get a unit draft, and hopefully get a unit that is big and expensive because we have Volatile Gauge. So we do want Little Fade to die, so we want Little Fade to be in front so that Little Fade dies. She's got quick, so she does a little bit of damage. And then we can put a Train Steward behind Little Fade. The Welder Helper we don't want at the bottom, because we want to play Little Fade over and over again, I think. But we could put a welder helper or two in the center. Or we could play fracture to do something. I think that we want to play 2 welder helpers more than we want to play 1 fracture and 1 torch. So let's play 2 welder helpers here. That'll make it so that whoever we put in the center is very protected. So I like seeing the collector. Also, we drew a train steward that only costs 1. I like that too. Since we're going to not play these 2 train stewards, there's no reason not to play Bounding Echoes first. So Bounding Echoes first. Now, we almost certainly want to put the train steward that we found at the top. Yeah, I think we want to put this train steward at the top. And then down here, we want to put Little Fade in front of you, so that Little Fade dies. You are still going to get a lot of damage. You're not going to die, but you're going to get a lot of damage, which I don't like. And we've got 1 torch. So I'm thinking about torching one of these, because if we torch you, for example, then this train steward, if he could kill this one, would be able to kill you. Maybe we should torch this one then. So that's 2 damage. 2 more damage puts you at 11. So you both have 11 health. If we can play 2 torches next turn or 1 more train steward, then we'll do it up there. We don't have another train steward though. Oh, but if we get in flame, I guess that works too. All right. I don't like our train steward at the bottom being so hurt. So, we did get Inflame, and it only cost 1, so we could put Inflame on you. I like that. And Little Fade. Little Fade I want to put in the center in front. So Little Fade is going to die and take a lot of this damage. And you're going to kill that one. We're going to play... We could play Bounding Echoes. I don't think we should. I think we should play the Inflame here, so that we kill both of those. And then we should play... Fracture? Fracture on who? I guess you? Or you? I don't know. Let's put a fracture on you so that we might kill you with a torch or something next turn. Alright. I would like another one of our train stewards at the bottom. We don't get another train steward at the bottom. We can put Little Fade at the bottom, which I think we should do. Currently, you are dying, which probably means we want to put Little Fade at the top, actually. So that Little Fade takes the hit up here. And both of those die. And there's kind of nothing to do with you. You can just die, I guess. So we could play Inflame, or we could put Reap on you, I guess. Let's put Reap on you. And torch you as well. Alright. I think if we put Little Fade in the center, at the back, I think we win. Let's find out. We do. Great. And play the Weight of Contrition so we don't take damage. Play... We can't even play the torch. Alright. Just click end turn and win. Okay. That one went just fine because Advanced Prototype is really good at the beginning. A Molting Imp, which we have never mastered. It's the only one here that's not infused, though. And probably picking something that's infused is better. I really like Vent, Vent works rather well when you have Volatile Gauge. X cost cards in general are nice when you've got Volatile Gauge, so I think I'm going to take the Vent. Returned Soul. Return a spell card from the discard pile to your hand and apply Infused and Consume. Should we take that? I mean, it's gonna cost a lot more than 0, is the problem. Playing with the Wurmkin might have not been the best, now that I'm thinking about it. All these 0-cost cards are actually not great for us. I'm gonna skip these, because I think 0-cost cards are not what we want. And an Alpha Fiend, it's the one that costs the most Ember. Is it the one that I want the most? I think the Alpha Fiend is a little bit unimpressive, because Strike giving you +5 is really slow. Like, you start with 10, and then you get to 15, and then 20. That's really slow for you to gain attack. We probably would much prefer the Rail Beater. Also, the Rail Beater has a pretty good sacrifice. So let's take the Rail Beater. Alright, we didn't get to choose. Right. Let's look at Merchant of Magic. Stack Stone could go on Inflame. Pretty nice on Inflame. Yeah, it could definitely go on Inflame. We could put a Stack Stone and an Ember Stone on Inflame, maybe. That might be very nice. And then let's look at the Divine Horde first. When a card with Extract is played, we don't have any of those right now. None right now. Wing Clippings is not bad when you're playing with the Wurmkin. And what about Conscription Notice? I tend to like Conscription Notice. It's kind of fun. It also is something that loses value later. Huh. I don't really know what to do here. I'm going to take Conscription Notice because it does something now. Alright. Hellhorned unit. Another Alpha Fiend. Not what we wanted. Alright, we could get the Horned Warrior and plan to sacrifice the Rail Beater to the Horned Warrior, because the Rail Beater would give him armor 30. I don't like it. I think we're going to skip these. I feel not great about skipping these, but I think we're going to skip these. Alright, well, Merchant of Magic. Take the Stack Stone, put it on Inflame. Take an Ember Stone, also put it on Inflame. And then I don't think we want to purchase a Power Stone, so let's go to the next battle. Mark of Invasion. Well, we do have Little Fade, who has Quick. And we have a Vent. Let's take it. Oh, we got some actually pretty nice things. Granted, you cost 3 to play, though. Ick. I think we want to play the Train Steward at the top with Little Fade. Little Fade in front, of course, so that we don't get the Ember Drain. Oh, the Shattered Shell. Oh, the Shattered Shell. Maybe we want that at the top. Okay. Put the Shattered Shell at the top. And then I want... We could play a Train Steward at the bottom, for example. We could play a Train Steward at the bottom and a Torch on the Discipled Foot Soldier. That's not too bad. Because we're going to play Little Fade again, the Shattered Shell is going to kill a whole bunch more of those. We might want to keep the Shattered Shell from dying, though. I don't know. Let's play the Train Steward at the bottom. and the torch right here, and then decide what to do in a future turn. Okay, we don't want the Shattered Shell to get too hurt, and there's not a great way to do that, but we will play Little Fade at the top to soak 3 of the damage, I guess. And then we can play the Vent on 1 to kill both of those. So I guess we play the Vent when we've got 1. And before then, we just play a Torch. Torch this one. Torch you. Play the Vent down here. And that was that turn. Not very impressive. Now then, Little Fade now kills things quickly. A lot of the time. I don't want Little Fade to kill things quickly, so I think what I'm going to do is put Little Fade here and put a Train Steward behind so that Little Fade still dies again. And we've got a Train Steward there. And then I think I'm going to put a Welder Helper in front at the top so that it takes a lot of the damage in the future, instead of the Shattered Shell taking the damage. Okay. I think that we possibly win... Well, I don't know. I think we might just win at the top, but we could play Little Fade at the bottom this turn, and we might win. We might. Especially if we play Rail Beater. So the Rail Beater, we want that one... Ooh, let's see here. Okay, so Little Fade goes here at the back. The Rail Beater is going to go in the middle so that it's going to affect Little Fade's attack. The melee weakness affects Little Fade's attack, and then we can even play Vent to take care of the back too. Alright, win at the bottom. Great. Give me cool, expensive things. Ritual of Battle is a cool, expensive thing. I will take it. Those are not cool, expensive things. I think we're not going to be using many of the Wurmkin cards. Which way do we go? We don't go the way I would have chosen. Sadly. Alright. We really need another unit banner, honestly, because we've only taken a Rail Beater from the unit banner so far, and we really want something other than just a Rail Beater. Definitely. Let's peek in the Merchant of Magic. A Keepstone. Ooh, Keepstone. Keepstone might be nice. We might put a Keepstone on Ritual of Battle so that we can give something Rage 10 every single turn. It's very possible we might want that. Divine Temple. Ho ho, it has the True Stone. Alright. We might put a Keepstone on Vent. Vent with a True Stone. That might be something that we want to play literally every turn. I think I'm going to do that right now. Put the Keepstone on Vent. So now we can take care of the small units basically every single turn, which is... It's really nice to be able to do that. Now let's go to the Concealed Caverns. What do you have for me? Ember deposits. Well... we could take Abandoned Stave to have more Ember. The Calcified Ember, we get cards that give us Ember and draw us a card, but I think they normally cost 0 and they're not going to cost 0. But if we take Abandoned Stave, we would get significantly more Ember every turn. And that's really nice when we already have Volatile Gauge. So I think I'm going to take this one. Take the Protrusion, take the Abandoned Stave. We have 4 Blights in our deck right now. We might want to remove 2 of them. The 2 that deal us damage if we don't play them. Alright. Anything else for Merchant of Magic? We're definitely going to take an Emberstone. Do we take a Power Stone? I don't think so. I don't think we're really going to be keeping those torches. But Emberstones are great. We might want to put Emberstone on Ritual of Battle. Let's do that. Actually, maybe we want to put Value Stone on Ritual of Battle so that it almost always costs 0. Then if we get another Keep Stone, we would really like... Yeah, okay, I'm going to do this. And I think I want a small deck in this one. I think I want a small deck. We definitely still want to buy an Emberstone, right? Well, no, not if those are the things that we're thinking about. Because I would happily remove all of the fractures and all of the torches. Not that we're going to be able to do that. Because we don't get to choose where we go, so we can't choose to go to the places that have the unstable vortexes all the time. Right. That's annoying. So we might want to take an Emberstone and put it on one of the fractures, because most likely we'd keep the fractures and not the torches. And then we still purge a card. Let's do that. And purging, I could purge a Train Steward. I could purge one of the Vengeful Shards. I could purge a Bounding Echoes. You know, I think the Bounding Echoes is right now worse than those other 2. Alright. I want to remove both Vengeful Shards, but I want to remove them both at the same time, because removing one kind of makes our deck worse. Kind of. Double Barrel. Double Barrel's annoying. And we're at threat level extreme, because I've taken a lot of hits. Okay, well, we have Quick. We're not going to kill that constructed explosive quickly, but we could play Little Fade there and have her die from that constructed explosive, or we could play her at the bottom and have her die from one of these. That seems better. And we get a Wickless Baron. Ooh. Wickless Baron at the bottom? Wickless Baron at the bottom. Seems nice. And then... shall we play a Rail Beater at the bottom as well? Sure, let's play a Rail Beater at the bottom. Why are we playing so much at the bottom? It's very strange. Okay, and then we could play a Torch and a Vengeful Shard, maybe? I can't fit the Train Steward at the bottom. I think we're going to play the Vengeful Shard this turn and a Torch. Constructed explosive at the top. We don't care about it at the top. The vent is very nice. If we play Little Fade down here, Little Fade still dies even if we play vent, right? Yes. And this is a great time to play Bounding Echoes, because making Little Fade infused is nice. Ooh, Ritual of Battle as well. Ritual of Battle, I think we put on the Wickless Baron. Little Fade goes here. We can play the vent down here, of course. Let's play a Fracture on our friend the boss. And then a Train Steward in the center, and then vent at the bottom. Great. So we are going to play Vent every turn now, which is nice. You've got Sweep, which is annoying. The Vengeful Shard costs 2, which is also annoying. Let's play the Vengeful Shard. And then I guess we're going to play 2 Fractures, both on the boss. Yeah, 2 Fractures on the boss. And then our Vent to make sure that all of those die at the bottom. Great. We get to kill everything at the bottom? We could play Little Fade. No matter where we play Little Fade's not going to die this turn. And there is a wave remaining. We could defeat our own Little Fade with torches. We will probably do that. Alright, so Little Fade goes right there. We torch Little Fade twice. Torch Little Fade twice. We're going to play a Train Steward here, I guess. And Inflame at the bottom. Inflame you, and then Vent at the bottom to kill all of those. Oh, I didn't play Inflame. Wait a minute, what did I play? I played Fracture. I fractured my own guy instead of inflamed my own guy. Whoops. That was really silly, especially because I've got charged echoes every single turn. Okay. Little Fade again doesn't die. We play her at the bottom. Unless we don't play Vent at the bottom, which I guess we could do. We could play Little Fade here, and then play Vent at the top. That'll also prevent us from hurting our Wickless Baron even more. Alright, play Fracture, 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 Vent. Alright. The final wave, we're already winning. Alright, let's play the Vengeful Shards. And we will play Little Fade so that we win slightly faster. Great. Reinforce. Double the amount of armor on a unit. Interesting. By the way, we don't have anything that we are mastering yet. Yeah, we haven't taken a single thing that we haven't already Divinity Mastered. And this was probably the best chance for us to find that. I think we most want Echoes of the Past, even more than we want Reinforce. Because Echoes of the Past is pretty good with all of the infused cards that we're going to have. Let's take it. Alright, we've never mastered the Branded Warrior. I think we should take the Branded Warrior in order to potentially Divinity Master it. It's not great though, right? I'm gonna take it though. We want to Divinity Master things. Now, we're already drawing how much per turn? We draw +3 with Volatile Gauge. If we play Herzl's Compound, we draw 9 cards a turn. I like drawing 9 cards a turn. Let's do it. I think we might choose Light of Seraph next. Oh, you brought us to the Unstable Vortex, thank you. I don't really care about the Pyre Remains though. Alright, what do we want for our champion? So Eternal Flame 2 is pretty nice. Now that we already have Endless, we could take Little Icarus, or, you know, other non-Eternal Flame things. But I think that Little Fade is not going to slay that much. I do like the permanent gain, though. Because if Little Fade slays 15 enemies, which is very possible, then that's better than... Oh, no, this is every time you extinguish. No, you know what? I still think Eternal Flame might be the way. Okay, Eternal Flame is the way, apparently. The Divine Temple has an Extreme Stone. We don't really have a spell for that. And a Seek Stone. I mean, we could put that on Ritual of Battle. It's not terrible on Ritual of Battle. It's not the most important either. As much as I want to choose Engage Pact, what are we sacrificing? I guess we could sacrifice a Welder Helper? We could sacrifice a Train Steward to a different Train Steward. We can't sacrifice the Branded Warrior because we want to master it. We could sacrifice the Welder Helper, I guess. One Welder Helper to another one. I'll consider it, but probably not this time. We've got 2 more Divine Temples. We've got 2 more Divine Temples. Let's look at the Merchant of Steel. Large stone that we can't afford. No. How sad. The Branded Warrior has a Slay trigger. We could give him even more rage with the Fury Stone. Let's give him even more rage. We want that more than we want to put it on a Rail Beater, right? I think so. Give you some starting rage, or more starting rage. And then we don't really want to put another stone on here because we want you to have more health, which I think we're going to get from a stone. So if we put a strength stone, we couldn't do that. We could put a strength stone on a Train Steward, though. Seems valuable. Alright. And then remove 2 cards. Do we remove the other Bounding Echoes? Kind of want 1 because making our champion have infused is nice because she has endless. So I think I'm going to remove the 2 Vengeful Shards now. That reduces how much Ember we have each turn by 1. But I still think that's valuable enough. And I don't think we take either of those. Okay, next battle. Ancient Hate. How bad is Ancient Hate? It makes our torches pretty worthless, but the vents are perfectly fine, and vent is mainly what we're going to use in terms of spells. So sure, let's turn it on. We did not get Vent yet. We got Echoes of the Past on the first turn, which is not the turn you wanted. We can play the Fracture on the Quill Marksman. Let's play Little Fade first, because we're going to get another unit when we play Little Fade. We got a Branded Warrior. Alright, a different Branded Warrior. I think those are going to go on a different floor. So, what am I doing? We could play a Rail Beater on a different floor, and maybe the Branded Warrior. We want the Branded Warrior to be behind the Rail Beater, basically. I don't know what to do. Let's play the Rail Beater and the Branded Warrior in the center. In the center. Rail Beater, Branded Warrior in the center. And then we're going to play a Fracture on you so that you die. And that's it. We got our own Branded Warrior that we can play. The one that we put in our deck intentionally. I think we want Little Fade in the center to take the hits here. And I would like to play Inflame on this branded warrior. Honestly. So maybe that's what we're gonna do. So, and play our own branded warrior at the top. So Little Fade goes here. We play Inflame. Let's actually play Inflame on our guy this time. And then we play this branded warrior at the top. You get a Slay. Okay. We finally got the vent. It's very nice to get the vent. We're probably going to play it at the bottom. I want to play this Ritual of Battle on one of our nice guys. At the top, we don't really want to play Little Fade at the top because Little Fade wouldn't die at the top. So I guess we play Little Fade in the center. That also makes it so that you get a kill, I believe. And then at the top, we're probably going to play the Welder Helper or a Train Steward. Both of those are pretty decent options. I think I'm going to play the Train Steward. You've got Damage Shield 2. The Welder Helper means that you still get to get a kill, though. Let's play the Welder Helper. Sure. Welder Helper. That means that you get a kill, which for some reason is important to me. And then Ritual of Battle on you, of course. And then Vent at the bottom. Okay. We're killing everything, but I don't know that our deck has gotten great yet. It's okay. It's not great yet. We are going to play Little Fade in the center. Play Little Fade in the center probably every turn. And then I guess we play this Inflame in the center as well. To just keep inflaming you. And then Event at the bottom, of course. Next turn, I think that we can't have Little Fade die, because I think Little Fade kills everything. So, let's put the Train Steward at the bottom. Let's play a Welder Helper at the bottom. And then Little Fade at the bottom. Behind, of course, at this point. And then Vent here, because it gives me an Echo. It deals you 10 damage and gives you 10 health, but it also gives me an Echo. Alright, do we win at the bottom? We don't currently, but there are things to do. Ritual of Battle on Little Fade might cause us to win. We're also going to play this Vent at the end of the turn. And then I want to play the Echoes of the Past, but before we play Echoes of the Past, I think we play Fracture. Yeah, play Fracture, and then play Echoes of the Past on Little Fade, and then play Vent. And then we're winning at the bottom. Alright. Get that money. I'm glad to get some money. Ho-ho, Impish Scholar? Oh man, Impish Scholar. Right now we only have Bounding Echoes that has Consume. But I feel like Impish Scholar is one of those things that could work really well with the Wurmkin. Do I take it? I think I do take it. Consume, apply, reap 12. We could get that back with the Impish Scholar. Apply, reap. I said 12. That clearly says 13. The Soul Crushing Guilt is pretty good, and it might go well in this deck. I think we will take Soul Crushing Guilt. Okay. Oh, we went to the removal again. How about that? Well then. I don't get to spend any of my money this turn, though. Let's take an artifact first. Friendly units gain +2 attack on Slay. It's probably better than Hell's Banners. Probably better than Hell's Banners for the deck that we have. So, Consume Crown. Didn't love it, though. What in the world do we duplicate? I guess we could duplicate Ritual of Battle. I don't really want to duplicate Vent. Duplicating Ritual of Battle is not bad. Let's do that. And then remove 2 cards. I think we're removing Torches at this point. Well, the Bounding Echoes, I guess we still kind of want that one. I want to remove Torches more than I want to remove Trained Stewards still. So let's remove those Torches. We are definitely going to get to the point that we're removing Trained Stewards. We just haven't gotten there yet. Well, Mark of Invasion isn't so bad. The Self-Made Harpy is not good for what we have. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do great against the Self-Made Harpy. That's not great. Also, the Harvest on the Overcharged Tank is pretty bad for us playing Little Fade. Okay, we don't want to play Little Fade at the bottom. I mean, I guess we kind of do. We're going to play Vent this turn, of course. But where? And where do we play Little Fade? If we play Little Fade at the top, then as long as we play one other minion at the top, we destroy everything at the top. And we should probably play Bounding Echoes. Okay, let's play Bounding Echoes, because I think infusing Little Fade is stronger than I want, or I kind of think it is. I think it's stronger than my mind tells me it is. Steelworker is pretty nice. I guess we're going to put that at the top. And then we'll put our Branded Warrior behind. Okay, so I think things are going okay up there. Let's just vent all of those away. And we get vent every turn. So our vents are going to be good. We're going to play vent in the center, clearly. The Rail Beater, where do we play that? We play Little Fade at the bottom. Maybe we play the Rail Beater behind. I don't know. We're going to play the vent in the center, definitely. You're going to get a bunch of armor, but I think we will not be too bothered by that. I don't want to play the Rail Beater at the top because I really want there to be space to play Little Fade at the top for the very end. Which means, where does the Rail Beater go? I think the Rail Beater goes at the bottom. And then Little Fade goes down here, takes some of that damage. And then we play Vent in the center, we play a Fracture. We could play a Fracture on the Quill Marksman to kill it. I think that's okay. Fracture on the Quill Marksman, so the Quill Marksman dies. And then we vent here. Okay. We might need to play Little Fade at the top next turn, which means my guy at the bottom might die. So, do we need to play Little Fade at the top? Let's find out after we play a Ritual of Battle. Yes, we still need to play that. We've got Bounding Echoes that we could get back with Impish Scholar. Impish Scholar could go at the top, although that would give us Ember Drain, unless we put Impish Scholar in front. Impish Scholar could go at the bottom. Sure. Impish Scholar at the bottom. And then we get our Bounding Echoes back. It did get a random cost. I wasn't sure if it would get a random cost or not. I want to play Soul Crushing Guilt. I want to play Little Fade. We're going to play Little Fade at the top. I keep confirming that and then not doing it. Alright, so Little Fade goes at the top, deals with that one. We could play the Vent in the center. It wouldn't kill you, never mind. We're going to play the Vent at the bottom. We're going to play Soul Crushing Guilt on something. I guess we could play it in the center and give you Dazed 3. Which would be fine. I guess I'm going to do that, because I don't know what else to do with the Soul Crushing Guilt. And I do want to play it this turn. And then what? I guess a Train Steward in the center. Train Steward in the center, Vent at the bottom. I'm defeating everything as they go up the train, but I'm not doing it particularly well, I don't think. So you're dazed, and we're already killing you, which means there's no value in playing Little Fade at the top there. We play Little Fade at the bottom. I think that's valuable. Should we give... No, there's no value in giving Little Fade Rage, because she loses it. So let's do the Ritual of Battle up here. Twice. We are going to play Vent. There's no reason not to play Echoes of the Past before we play Vent. So I think we're going to do that. Thinking about what else we do. We're going to play Vent at the bottom. Let's just make the Echoes of the Past as good as it can be. So we Fracture you, we Torch you, and then we play Echoes of the Past to give you a whole bunch of attack. And then we play Vent at the bottom. Okay. My Train Stewards are getting pretty bad. I do want to remove the Train Stewards, but I think they're not as bad as Torches. Still. So if we want Little Fade to die, we've got to play her somewhere. If we play her at the top, she doesn't die. If we play her in the center, she dies. Just barely. But how do we deal with the top if we don't play Little Fade at the top? I guess we could Soul Crushing Guilt at the top? I don't know. Let's play Little Fade at the top. So we play Little Fade at the top. Little Fade is getting 3 damage. Oh, because of the 5 health that you're giving. Good. So if we torch Little Fade now dies. That's what I wanted to do. Torch Little Fade. In the center, we currently have it so that you are dying, which is fine. We could prevent that by giving you 10 armor. Or we could just give this one 10 armor. I'm gonna save my guy. I don't know if that's the valuable thing for us to do, but I decided to do it. And then Fracture you and Vent. I want that Vent for next turn so that we could take out the minions behind the boss next turn. No, there's no minions behind the boss. Alright, never mind. 6x6 attack. Well, I don't think we play Vent this turn because we don't want to keep drawing it. So we just play Little Fade. If Little Fade goes in front, then you get one attack. But we'd rather have Little Fade in the back so that Little Fade gets 2 attacks. Right. And then we Fracture. Fracture. And do we play Train Steward? Train Steward has a damage shield of 2. Would it give Little Fade another attack if we played a Train Steward? Let's think about this. So if we play the Train Steward in front, the Train Steward takes 5 of the hits, which means the Rail Beater gets to hit once and give melee weakness. That's worth it. There we go. 519 damage at the bottom. Very nice. Now, if we play Little Fade, we're going to play Little Fade in the center. If nothing else, Little Fade just dies. But we also have a Welder Helper to play this turn. We play the Welder Helper, we win in the center. Alright, let's also play a couple Ritual of Battle. There we go. Wonderful. And we did get the Trial again. I like getting the Trial so much. Do we want Inferno? Not if we're playing things on every floor, but how important is it to play things on every floor constantly? I don't think I want another Impish Scholar. I think just one is fine. Inferno? I think we got to take it. When we've got Volatile Gauge, Inferno just seems strong. I don't think we want these. Let's skip those. Alright, we did not get to remove this time. We do get another Pyre Remains. It sent us towards the Pyre Remains every time, right? It did send us towards that one and that one. Yeah, it sent us towards the Pyre Remains every time. We didn't get a removal, which is unfortunate. We do get a Merchant of Trinkets. So there's a Divine Temple. There's a Purge Stone. We might take a Purge Stone, actually. And then there's an Engage Pact, which I think we're going to do an Engage Pact one of these times. But let's go to the Merchant of Trinkets and see what's in here. When you play your 3rd card during the turn, draw 1. That means that we draw even more every turn. I really like that. I don't think we care about Bog Slime much. So I think we take Wing Steel and we reroll. The first Hell Pact doesn't help the 1x cost card that we have very much. It just adds 6 damage, which is... it's fine, but it's not extremely significant. The Decayed Decoy is okay if we keep Fractures. I don't know that we're going to keep a lot of Fractures. I think we save our money for future things. We'd probably purge a card, though. And I think we're going to purge 2 cards, because we're going to use a Purge Stone here as well. Purge Stone on a torch, so that we get rid of the torches. And then let's also purge 1 card with 90. What do we purge? Another torch? I think the torches are still worse than the Train Stewards. Which is hard. That's hard to say, but I think they're still worse than the Train Stewards. So, Scouring Crest adds Scourge cards to my hand and deck. Ick. That one's not great. Especially with Volatile Gauge. We get Vent on the first turn. Oh, we got Vent on the first turn. Great. So we're not going to get the Absolver stuff then. Little Fade doesn't die. Little Fade doesn't die, though. I guess we could defeat our own Little Fade. I want the Rail Beater probably at the top, so I'm going to play Little Fade at the top. We got a Husk Hermit with Sweep. Husk Hermit with Sweep. It's not extremely valuable when we've got the Vents, but I guess we play this one at the bottom. So the Husk Hermit goes at the bottom. We want to play the Rail Beater at the top. We want to play a Fracture, or actually a Torch on Little Fade. Torch on Little Fade. Let's play a Ritual of Battle on the Ultimate Penance. We definitely don't want that. And then we could play the Vent. And then Ritual of Battle on the Husk Hermit? I think it's better than putting it on the Rail Beater. So put it on the Husk Hermit. Okay, good first turn. We got a Torch that we want to play. Again, it's hard for us to kill Little Fade. I think we are going to kill Little Fade with the Torch and the Fracture, though. Because we really do want Little Fade to die every turn, and we're going to kill both of those. So we play Little Fade. Little Fade. And then we play the Torch, purge it from the deck. And then Fracture on our own Little Fade, so that Little Fade dies. A Train Steward. Do we want to play the Train Steward more than our Branded Warrior? Maybe. I think I want to play the Branded Warrior at the bottom, behind the Husk Hermit, right? So Branded Warrior at the bottom, we play the Ritual of Battle on it, we play Event at the bottom. Okay. I think we need more Ember. We have the Stave giving us one more Ember, but I think we want to take Fell's Remorse, so that we get another Ember. The Ultimate Penance again. Right. We're going to play that. We can play Little Fade at the bottom, and Little Fade dies from the Clipped Guardian. Great. Let's do that. Let's play the Ultimate Penance, and then we've got 2 Ember to work with. Let's play Fracture on the boss. 2 Ember to work with. The Soul-Crushing Guilt, we could hit the boss, but it's not very valuable because unless we just keep playing it almost every turn, our deck isn't that small. The Welder Helper we could play just to get it out of the deck. I think that's okay to do. Let's play the Welder Helper and the Train Steward, just to get them out of the deck. So we stop drawing them so much. And then Vent. So Little Fade does die at the bottom again. So let's keep playing Little Fade at the bottom. We could play Inferno, which would kill my guys. So we're not going to do it this time. I should remember that I have Inferno in the deck and not play things on every floor. So Echoes of the Past is pretty decent. The Ritual of Battle is decent, of course. I think let's play the Ritual of Battle. And we play... Should have played Bounding Echoes. Should have played Bounding Echoes. Oh well. Since we didn't. We could play the Impish Scholar, but the Impish Scholar wouldn't die if we played it. I guess we could play it in the center. It's not like we're gonna fit... Oh, actually, we want to fit Little Fade in the center at some point. You know what? Just play the Impish Scholar, get it out of the deck. And then play Echoes of the Past on you. And then play Event at the bottom. Oh no, you're not dying. Oh no. I didn't realize that Little Fade killed that front one with one hit. Alright, we're definitely going to play the Ultimate Penance. Which means we've got 2 Ember to spend on things. I think we play an Inflame. Do we play that on the Husk Hermit? The Husk Hermit is a pretty good thing to have to be inflamed. Let's do that. And then we play Vent, of course. Ooh. Ritual of Battle with the Value Stone, and it cost 1. That's unlucky. We play Little Fade at the bottom. Little Fade does not die. No matter where we play Little Fade does not die. Okay, I think we just play Little Fade at the bottom then. And then... Fracture the Boss a whole lot? Fracture the Boss? Yeah, just Fracture the Boss a whole lot. And then Vent at the bottom. Alright. Let's keep playing the Ultimate Penance. Don't think we need to take the damage. Little Fade is going to die at the bottom, even if we play Vent. So that's good. Let's play a Ritual of Battle a couple of times on you. We could play the Bounding Echoes just to get rid of it, or we could play a Fracture. Play a Fracture. And then Vent. Do we want to play Vent? I don't think we do anymore. Don't play Vent. Alright, we're going to put Little Fade behind, and we have Soul Crushing Guilt. Oh my, I think we win this one. Let's play Soul Crushing Guilt immediately. There we go. We win this one very quickly. Alright, what do we get? Alloy of the Ancients, Dark Deal, or Wurmkin's Tome. Do we want Wurmkin's Tome? I typically don't like putting Fragile on a unit, but maybe we take it because we give our units a lot of attack. And especially at the end of the battle, we could put this on Little Fade at the very end. I'm going to take it. It's also something we could potentially master. Alright, I think we take Fell's Remorse. Because we just draw lots of cards and we want to be able to play more of them. Ooh, we didn't go this way. I wanted to go that way. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's peek in the Divine Temple. Another True Stone, another Value Stone. I don't think we take the True Stone. We might take the Value Stone and put it on Inferno. Merchant of Steel has a Speed Stone. I don't know if we want to put that on our Branded Warrior. Probably not. We did not get something that gives us health on our Branded Warrior, which is annoying, because I want to give our Branded Warrior more health. Let's do the Little Fade upgrade next. So, we certainly don't want Firelight. Yeah, we definitely don't want Firelight. So Eternal Flame 3. Cheater's Hand or Hammered Chestplates? Cheater's Hand along with Winged Steel seems almost pointless. Although, because of Volatile Gauge, we could put something that got an unfortunate cost on top. And then when we draw it again, it might have a good cost. It's an option. I don't think I'm going to do that option. I think we're just going to take Hammered Chestplates. Okay, do we take any of these? There's always the Engage Pact, and this is the last ring that we could do an Engage Pact. Which means we probably should. We probably should. So I could do the Engage Pact just to get rid of one of these. Use it kind of as a removal that also does something. And if we do that, I think we'd get rid of either a Welder Helper or a Train Steward. Probably a Welder Helper. I'm thinking that we want to sacrifice just so that we have less cards in our deck. Because we have a 27 card deck. We kind of draw 10 cards a turn. Otherwise, how do we get to 100 pack shards? We're definitely going to take the Divine Horde next time, which puts us at 90. So we need 10. We're not guaranteed to be able to copy. So we need to do something here. It could be a True Stone on a Torch. Seems pretty bad. Could be a Value Stone on Inferno, which seems okay. Or it could be an Engage Pact. Those are my three options. The Engage Pact gives more than we need. Let's do the Value Stone on Inferno. Okay. Now, Merchant of Steel. Echo Stone, in some cases, is stronger than a Strength Stone in our deck. I don't know if we want Quick on anybody in particular. Not on these units, I guess. We could put a Strength Stone on another Train Steward. Let's put a Strength Stone on another Train Steward and reroll. Alright, we did get a Frenzy Stone. Frenzy Stone I like. It's a little bit weird on these particular units. Yeah, it's a little bit weird on these particular units. The Rail Beater, you know, it's kind of nice to have melee weakness and a Frenzy Stone. The Branded Warrior is likely to have a lot, but we're going to give that the Heartstone, because we really want you to have a little bit more attack. I said attack, I meant health. A little bit more health. Strength Stone. We could put a Strength Stone and a Frenzy Stone on something. Something like the Rail Beater. Let's do that. Frenzy Stone on the Rail Beater, Strength Stone on the Rail Beater. Okay. I don't think that was a great set of upgrades, but it was beneficial. Certainly beneficial. Let's go to the next one. Non-boss enemy units enter with spikes 5. That's annoying. How annoying? It's certainly annoying. I think we can survive, though, so let's do it anyway. It helps my little Fade to die, at least. So Little Fade is going to go at the bottom and die very fast. Extremely fast. We got a Shattered Shell. Oh man. Well, we could play a Shattered Shell at the bottom. It would just take so much damage from spikes. so much damage from spikes. Also, the One-Horned Tome is going to be completely worthless in this one because of the spikes. Shattered Shell. The problem with it is it takes so much damage from spikes. The nice thing is that, you know, it hits all the things. I don't think we want it at the bottom. We want it at the top, because that's certainly a possibility. We want the Rail Beater to be at the top. We want the Branded Warrior to be at the top. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 space. And we need space for Little Fade to be there too. So the Shattered Shell doesn't really go at the top. Unless we do it instead of one of these two. I want the Rail Beater to be at the top. Let's start there. The Rail Beater is definitely going at the top. Then what do I do? We could play a Welder Helper and a Shattered Shell in the center, maybe? We want to play Branded Warrior or Shattered Shell at the top. I think we want to play the Branded Warrior. We drew an Impish Scholar, of all the things that we could draw. Okay, well, Shattered Shell is now going to go in the center. And I think we're going to play the Inflame on our Branded Warrior. Okay. That was not my favorite first turn. Definitely. Definitely not my favorite first turn. Ooh, we have an Inferno. Inferno would be nice in the center, except it would kill the Shattered Shell. Granted, I think the Shattered Shell is dying anyway. So, how much do we really need to keep it alive? I don't think we do. Let's play the Inferno in the center. Bam. Alright. Little Fade. You're going to go at the bottom, so that you can kill that one at the bottom. I kind of want to play Fractures at the bottom, too. I'm going to play the Ritual of Battle here. Is it better to do it here? I mean, you do have multistrike, but I want this one to get the kills most of the time. Bounding Echoes. Not my favorite draw right now. We might want to take the Bounding Echoes out of the deck. I think that we fracture the Winged Conduit twice. Because then we can probably kill it in the center. So we do get Vent. Vent can kill some things at the bottom. You are annoying. We could play Little Fade here. Little Fade in the center this time. Because Little Fade will die in the center, even if we end up killing you. We want to play the Vent at the bottom. If I play it before we run out of Ember, I can kill this one too. Kind of like that. So, we're going to play the Ritual of Battle on you. We have a Soul-Crushing Guilt, but I don't particularly care about it. Maybe we play a Train Steward this turn in the center? Partially to get rid of it. And then we play the Vent at the bottom. Let's do that. Train Steward in the center, this is partially just to get rid of it. And then we play Vent at the bottom, kill those three. Okay. I didn't kill the multistrike guy in the center. I was thinking about doing so, but I didn't. That means that you die. We could stop that if we put a Welder Helper in front. The Welder Helper would die. Or we could play Little Fade. Little Fade wouldn't die up there. So let's not play Little Fade up there. Let's play the Welder Helper in the front. So the Welder Helper dies, and then Ritual of Battle on you. We want to play the Vent at the bottom. We want to play Little Fade at the bottom. Little Fade at the bottom. We have an Echoes of the Past or an Inflame. The Inflame could give you more armor, which is definitely something that we might want. I think we might want you to have more armor. So let's give you some more armor. It also gives you rage. And then Vent the bottom. So Vent in the center kills that winged conduit this turn. Little Fade dies nowhere. Unless we play Inferno. Little Fade can die in the center because we play Inferno. Okay, let's do that. Little Fade here. Inferno. There we go, we killed Little Fade again. And then up here we play another Ritual of Battle. Oh, we got Little Fade back. Right. I guess we'll play Little Fade down here then. I don't like Wurmkin's Tome being in my hand this turn, because I definitely want to play it, but not this turn. And then we play the Vent, definitely. Do we play Fractures first? I don't really see a point to that. Let's play the Train Steward at the bottom. Okay, also play a Fracture. Now then, we've got a Vent, which is very helpful. We have Wurmkin's Tome, which means Little Fade attacks faster but dies. I guess she dies at the same speed, right? Yeah, let's do Wurmkin's Tome on Little Fade. Wurmkin's Tome on Little Fade. And then we can even play the Impish Scholar and maybe get it again. And we can play Wurmkin's Tome again. There we go. And we vent at the bottom, and we're winning at the bottom. How about that? Okay, I mean, it's going very well, honestly. I don't think I want Rage Serum, certainly don't want Branding Rite, nor March of Shields. Skip those. Power of Knowledge. We don't consume many cards, so probably not that. Force Contamination is nice. It is nice. We have Soul-Crushing Guilt. Force Contamination applies melee weakness 3, which makes one of the times that Little Fade hits something really strong. I want to take it. Is this valuable? I don't know. We're taking it. Oh, of all the places you could put me, you sent me towards the Pyre Remains again. Alright, fine. Let's peek at the Merchant of Magic. We have a Freeze Stone. Freeze Stone is actually pretty good. Freeze Stone is pretty good. We're probably going to take a Freeze Stone. Merchant of Trinkets. Scorching Restraints, Echo Seedling, and Serrated Mandibles. Serrated Mandibles is pretty good. The other ones I don't know if I care that much about. Scorching Restraints is nice, but it's only just nice. Let's look at this Divine Horde. So, Worn Grindstone. is pretty nice. Let's take Worn Grindstone. A lot of our units have multistrike. Okay, we're definitely going to take Serrated Mandibles. I think we just re-roll now. Scorching Restraints is good, but I think we re-roll. Oh, these were not what we wanted. Now I want Scorching Restraints back. Well, Trader's Quill is not that valuable. Encased Divinity, also not that valuable. Improved Firebox is fine. We might take Improved Firebox. Merchant of Magic. Let's consider what we want on the Freestone. Force Contamination is something we could put a Freestone on. One-Horn's Tome is something we could put a Freestone on. Let's put a Freestone on One-Horn's Tome. And then we have a lot of money. Power Stone, don't care. Emberstone. Emberstone is good on anything. Just put it on the Echoes of the Past, I guess. And then reroll. Stackstone. Stackstone on Force Contamination? Applies melee weakness 6. Soul Crushing Guilt applies dazed 6. I think I really like the dazed 6 there. Let's do that. And let's put an Emberstone on that one. Now that we've increased its cost, let's decrease its cost. Okay, now we've got 245. We could purge a card, or we could just take Improved Firebox. Let's take Improved Firebox. We've spent our money. We have 100 pact shards. Let's go. So we got our vent on the first turn, which is very nice. We got our rail beater, and we've got a trained steward. I kind of want to keep the Impish Scholar in the deck. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to get some Ember Drain, because we're going to play the rail beater and something else up here. Do we play the Train Steward at the top to protect our rail beater? Or do we play the vent at the top instead of at the bottom? I think we'd rather play the vent at the bottom. I don't know. Let's play the vent at the bottom. And we're going to play Little Fade at the bottom too. So Little Fade goes here. Little Fade is going to die. What do we get? We get a Shattered Shell again? Holy cow. We've gotten Shattered Shell a lot. Huh. Do we put Shattered Shell at the bottom? Yes. Yes, we do. So now I'm thinking about what we're doing at the top. Because we want the Shattered Shell to survive, and it will survive because we're going to play the vent down here. At the top, I kind of want to play the Train Steward in front so that our Rail Beater doesn't take damage on the first turn. It's not the most important that the Rail Beater not take damage on the first turn, but I don't want him to. So let's play the Train Steward at the top. Oh, but then if we draw the Branded Warrior, where do we put it? Okay, never mind. We're going to have the Rail Beater take damage. So Rail Beater is going to take damage. Bounding Echoes. Man, I want to play that when we have... Let's play the Bounding Echoes now. I would love to play it when we have our champion in our hand, but you know... think we play the Train Steward in the center. We certainly play the Ritual of Battle at the top, right? I mean, I guess the other option is on the Shattered Shell. The Shattered Shell is not too bad either. Well, we're going to play Fracture up here on Seraph. We're going to play Force Contamination on Seraph. I think so. I mean, why not, right? Force Contamination on Seraph. And then Ritual of Battle either goes on the Shattered Shell or the Rail Beater. I think the Rail Beater, because I think the Rail Beater is going to survive longer, honestly. And then vent down here. Okay. I don't like that we're going to have Ember Drain next turn, and probably the following turn as well. Don't like that. So at the bottom, you're probably going to die this time, because Little Fade doesn't take many of the hits. Although we do have a Welder Helper to help you maybe survive. I don't know. Branded Warrior, we're going to put you at the top. Yeah, Branded Warrior goes at the top. Unfortunately, this means Ember Drain again. We're going to play the Vent at the bottom, I believe. We're going to play the Welder Helper at the bottom. Welder Helper at the bottom? And then Little Fade at the bottom. And now I believe you're going to survive after we play the Vent. We have a Fracture that we can play on the boss, or on the Light Wings. I guess it'd probably be better to play it on the Light Wings. Ritual of Battle, we'll play that at the top. I want to play it on you first, before the one behind you. So, we've got one Ember. I think we play a Fracture on Seraph with that one Ember. Not another Train Steward. Not another Train Steward. Play the Fracture on Seraph. So you got one Reap, which is excellent. That means that we can play Fracture on Seraph again, and then you will definitely die. Alright. You, I'm rather confident that you're going to die at the top. And then we vent here. Great. You're not dying. You are taking a fair amount, though. Granted. Don't know how long the Shattered Shell is going to survive. Probably until we play Inferno at the bottom. That's probably what's going to happen. We're going to play Inferno at the bottom, and the Shattered Shell dies from our own Inferno. We didn't draw our Inferno yet. How about that? Do we want to play Little Fade in the center or the bottom? Little Fade at the bottom does a lot of damage to you. And we're going to play the Vent at the bottom, most likely. If we play Little Fade in the center, Little Fade kills this one and takes one of the hits there. We can apply Daze 6 to Seraph this turn. That's really nice for the end of this battle. Let's play Little Fade at the bottom. Let's play Soul Crushing Guilt on Seraph. And then what? Whatever we play next, we're going to draw a card afterward. I think that we want to play a Fracture? Fracture on you? Okay, we didn't draw a card that I really wanted to draw, unfortunately. Echoes of the Past we could play at the top. to give attack value to one of our guys up here. We need you to die. We're going to very likely kill you next turn with something. We're going to draw Inferno. We're probably going to play Inferno at the bottom. So we'll kill you with a vent next turn. Probably. We'll see. In the meantime, what are we doing? I guess we play a Echoes of the Past on you. And then vent at the bottom. There we go. Oh, and our Shattered Shell survives. Right. Count the Shattered Shell would survive there. Now, we want to play Vent at the top when we have enough to kill that Shade Wings with it. Inferno we can play in the center, I guess. Or the bottom. It's just that we could play a Welder Helper at the bottom. Wherever we play Little Fade, where are we going to play Little Fade? I think we play Little Fade at the bottom to deal you a bunch of damage. Because if we do it in the center, Little Fade doesn't die. And I want Little Fade to die. Now then. Let's play the Inferno in the center. Oh, let's play a Welder Helper. If we play a Welder Helper at the bottom, then we could get it so that I think the Shattered Shell might survive. Again. Yep. Amazing. Shattered Shell survives somehow, still. Play the Inferno here, and then, unfortunately, nothing costs 1, so I'm going to have to play the Vent next. Alright. Don't like that you only have 9 health left. Guy at the top. So, we have another Force Contamination that we could play on somebody. We have another Soul-Crushing Guilt that we could play on Seraph. I like playing that on Seraph. We're going to play the Vent at the bottom, definitely. Let's play the Inflame here. Inflame here. Let's play the Ritual of Battle here. And then we could, what was I going to say? We need to Soul-Crushing Guilt at the bottom. We need to play Little Fade somewhere. Little Fade doesn't die. Even if we play Little Fade in the center, Little Fade doesn't die. So we'll play Little Fade at the bottom. Little Fade is not going to die because we're going to play Vent. I guess we can... We're going to play Soul-Crushing Guilt at the bottom, so let's play a Fracture so we can play the Soul-Crushing Guilt to Dazed Seraph more. And then we still have Fracture and Force Contamination. But Force Contamination it doesn't feel like we need to do anything with, but we could play it. We could play it up here, it doesn't do anything to you. Okay. We could play it here, and it would make it so that you probably die? Sure. Let's do that on you. And then Fracture on Seraph, and then Vent at the bottom. And then Little Fade doesn't die this turn. I'm worried about my top guy is dying, and I didn't really want him to die. And he is currently. And he kind of has been. We can give you armor 10, but does that really do anything anymore? Not really. Little Fade didn't die, so we can't put Little Fade up here to save you. So we could do the Inflame just to prevent damage from going to this one. And then we could play Vent at the top to kill this Light Wings. I really was expecting this one to die, but that's only if the Rail Beater attacks, and we don't have the Rail Beater attacking, do we? That's really unfortunate. Okay. This is the part where things went wrong, basically. This is where things went wrong. I could play Wurmkin's Tome at the top. So we could play Ritual of Battle. Ritual of Battle here. We could play Inflame on the front one. Inflame on the front one. That means that this one is the only one that's hitting you when he dies from a vent. So we could play Wurmkin's Tome. But then next turn you get destroyed by this Gilded Wings. Unless we draw one of these, which we probably will. So, you know, let's do it. We're going to give you Fragile. Oh, and another Ritual of Battle. Excellent. And then we play Echoes of the Past and Vent. Okay. So now you're killing everything, but you're fragile, so we have to continue to put things in front of you. Little Fade died this turn at least. I want my Inferno. There it is. There's my Inferno. So Little Fade, if we play Little Fade at the top, Little Fade does not die. Little Fade dies if we play her in the center. Which I guess we will. We'll play Little Fade in the center. And then what? We're going to play the Inferno at the bottom. Let's do that. We're going to play... We need to play Vent at the top if we play Impish Scholar in front. We can do other things if we play the Train Steward in the front. I think I'm going to play the Impish Scholar in the front. And then, what do we get back? We get back the Bounding Echoes. Not the one that I wanted. Alright. So we're going to play the Vent at the top. We can do Force Contamination on Seraph again. And then... yeah, let's do Force Contamination on Seraph again. Let's do a Fracture on Seraph. If we play this Train Steward, it doesn't die in the center, and it kills that one. Okay, let's do that. And then we Vent at the top, so that her guy with Fragile survives. Alright, we are now at the Relentless phase. We can Soul Crushing Guilt Seraph again. How about that? Let's do that. So we're going to play Little Fade. Little Fade down here. We're going to Soul Crushing Guilt to Dazed 6 Seraph again. So Seraph has Dazed 13. And then the real question is, can we make it so that Little Fade survives? We can, because we can put the Train Steward in front. And then we win. Alright. How about that? I'll even play a Vent in the center. That doesn't make us win in the center, but it gets us closer. Alright, defeat Seraph the Patient. Alright, no idea what we're going to do in the Last Divinity fight, honestly. Honestly, the places that I'm putting my units is somewhat random so far, so who knows what we're doing in the Last Divinity fight. If we can daze the Last Divinity, we can put the units anywhere, I guess. But we have to be able to do that. And, you know, that's the hard part. So we've got a Vent to play at the bottom. Ooh, we have Soul Crushing Guilt in our hand. Oh, so we can actually daze the Last Divinity and play things at the top. Okay, that's excellent. What are we doing with Little Fade? Little Fade could go anywhere and die. If we put Little Fade at the bottom, then you get a Slay, so you get another damage shield, which is not what we want. So I think we play Little Fade in the center. We got a Branded Warrior. How much is it different than our own Branded Warrior? Our Branded Warrior has a lot more rage than this one does. I don't know what to do with that Branded Warrior. So, we're definitely going to play Soul Crushing Guilt at the top. We need to play our Rail Beater at the top. So Rail Beater goes to the top. That gives us Ember Drain. We are going to play Vent. We want to play at the bottom and kill the Wiltwings with it and get rid of... Well, I guess we don't get rid of the damage shield because it has piercing. We need to play other things that have echoes at the top, which is Fracture. Bounding Echoes has appeared. We don't want it. Alright, Soul Crushing Guilt. Dazed 6 means that our guys are safe at the top for now. Do we play a Train Steward? I kind of think the answer is no. We can Inflame you. Inflaming you is good. I guess we could play Train Stewards in the center. We could play a Train Steward and the Branded Warrior in the center. This is not the Branded Warrior that we want. So, Train Steward and Branded Warrior in the center. And then Train Steward anywhere? I don't think we play the Train Steward. We could play it at the top, but if we do, we can't play our Branded Warrior at the top. And I kind of want to be able to do that. Okay, let's play the Vent at the bottom. So, we want to play the Vent at the bottom again. We could play the Inferno in the center. It would kill our Branded Warrior. Could play the Inferno at the bottom, actually. It's pretty good at the bottom. Let's play it at the bottom. Bam. And then we could play Little Fade in the center. I think we do play Little Fade in the center. We're also going to play this Vent in the center. The Little Fade in the center, and then we're going to play the Vent in the center as well. We have Echoes of the Past. Don't know what we're doing with that. I think we play the Branded Warrior up here. Behind you? Behind the Rail Beater? I guess so. This is not as good as it normally is, but I think we're still doing it. Maybe we do it in front of the Branded, in front of the Rail Beater, because the Rail Beater is kind of a lot better than the Branded Warrior. Okay, you know what? Let's do that this time. Let the Branded Warrior die first. And then Fracture on the boss. We're going to play Echoes of the Past at the top. We're going to play the Vent in the center. So I guess we play Torch and Fracture on the boss. And then we play the Echoes of the Past here. And then Vent in the center. Okay. That felt like a pretty good turn. We're dealing the Last Divinity damage every turn, which I do like. I do like that we're dealing the enemy damage every single turn. Ritual of Battle on you. So nice. I don't know that we want to play One Harm's Tome on you, though. We might want to. I'm not sure, though. But let's do Ritual of Battle on you. Okay, now I have to think. I want to play the Little Fade at the bottom, but I want to play Vent first, and I probably want to play Vent so that it kills this Wiltwings. So I guess we play Vent now. Vent now, and then play Little Fade. It did give you more armor, and you more armor, which is sad, but can't stop everything. Okay, you are one of the annoying ones for us to deal with. Chains the Sighted. How do we take out you? I could play Little Fade at the bottom, but kind of the center is the bigger problem right now, I think. Our Vent we need to keep playing. We definitely need to keep playing the Vent. So I think we play the Ritual of Battle up here like usual. And then we don't play any more spells at the top. We've got 3 more turns of Dazed there. Little Fade in the center seems like a good thing to do. Let's do it. And then can we have Little Fade die with Welder Helper helping? Because if that's the case, we could prevent you guys from gaining so much and have our Branded Warrior actually get something. Let's try. Great. Force Contamination. Ooh, interesting. Force Contamination. Where do we want to play that? We could play it on Chains the Sighted. That's a possibility. I think the center's going to die next turn. We could play it on... We could play it on you, but then this guy would gain too much health so that you wouldn't take him out. And we do want you to take him out. Force Contamination, we could do it on this Clipped Guardian as well, because that's a dangerous one too. Let's do it on you. You're a problem. I haven't seen anything except this one, this particular Disciple Protector, that would make you being fragile a bad thing. So I'm really thinking about doing One Harm's Tome on you now. let's go for it. So the back one is fragile. He does have armor. And that means that we're doing more damage to the Last Divinity. I think we vent at the bottom, because where else do we care to vent? We're not doing much with the vent this turn. Okay, we got our Weight of Contrition. Not very worried about that. Soul-crushing guilt, very important. We need to keep the boss dazed at the top. So we need to play that. Let's play that first. Let's play the Ritual of Battle here. We're going to play Little Fade at the top this turn. If we play Little Fade at the top, Little Fade doesn't die. But we've got a Branded Warrior that's dying right now, and the Clipped Guardian is surviving, which is not great. If we play Little Fade at the top, then the Clipped Guardian dies, and our Branded Warrior survives. Which is good. I think those are good things. I also kind of want to play the Train Stewards so that we get rid of them. And I think we could do that in the center. One of them in the center, at least. So, a Train Steward in the center so that we get rid of it. We could still play the Weight of Contrition. I guess we will. And then we could play a Train Steward at the bottom to let it die. Still thinking about Little Fade at the top. So that Little Fade... so that you don't die, and this one does die. But we want Little Fade to die the next turn, and Little Fade's not going to die the next turn either if we do that. I don't know. I think we play Little Fade at the top. And then Train Steward at the bottom just to get rid of it. If we play the vent here, then we can kill those next turn with the vent. Well, maybe not that one, because it's getting the slay. Okay, we got our Inferno. I'm glad to get the Inferno, because Inferno at the bottom looks pretty good. Inferno in the center looks pretty good. Let's do one of those. Which one, though? I think we do the Inferno at the bottom. It just takes out so many guys. Inferno at the bottom. Great. Now, the vent we want to play in the center when we have 2 Ember. So I guess that means that we play Echoes of the Past and Inflame up here. Take the 3 damage from Weight of Contrition. I think we take the 3 damage from Weight of Contrition. And then we play this. Oh no! Why does the... oh, it does 14 damage. I thought I had one more. Okay, so in that case, now playing the vent in the center, we don't care that we have as much Ember as we did before, so let's play to the Weight of Contrition now, since I've messed up already. And then we could play the Train Steward down here. It does trigger your Harvest, which is annoying, but I want the Train Steward out of the deck. Oh, you don't die. Right, you've got 2 damage shield. So, vent here. And then the entire center dies. The entire center dying was not great for me. Oh no! The back one... oh, right, I knew the back one wasn't going to die. What am I thinking? Okay. So... we need to do things at the top, especially to prevent all of my guys from dying at the top. Yeah. Force contamination does not accomplish much. I guess it kills you. But a vent kills you as well. The vent can't kill this one, which is really annoying. We can't have all of our guys die at the top. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out what to do at the top. We're not going to play Inferno at the top, unless we absolutely have to. So, let's think about what's happening up here. This one is going to die because we're going to play Vent. So this one we don't have to worry about. This one, once we play Vent, as long as we do at least 12 damage with Vent, then Little Fade will kill you quickly. So this one won't attack. So this one attacks, and then this one attacks 3 times. That gets rid of your armor exactly. So you will actually survive if we play Vent at the top and it does at least 12 damage. But you will only barely just survive, which is really scary. Okay, well, Ritual of Battle. We do... Let's do the Inferno in the center, I think. Inferno in the center. We get to play our Vengeful Shard. Soul-Crushing Guilt. Soul-Crushing Guilt, we could make this a little bit easier on ourselves by just making you dazed. That seems worthwhile to me. If we daze this one, then we don't lose anybody but Little Fade. And we don't lose the 50 armor. That's really important to me. Okay. Let's do that. In order to do that, we need to play a Torch and then Soul Crushing Guilt. So play a Torch on anything. Play Soul Crushing Guilt on you. And then we play Vent. There we go. Much, much nicer. Alright. Now we get Little Fade again. So if we played Little Fade at the top, then we wouldn't have Little Fade die. If we play Little Fade in the center, Little Fade dies unless we play Vent. And we really want this one to take a lot of damage, so I think we want to play Little Fade in the center. The Vent does not kill this one. I think we might have a dangerous turn again next turn, especially because you've got 5 spikes. But I think we have to play Little Fade in the center, so that we deal a lot of damage to you. And I really like playing Ritual of Battle on this one. Ooh, Echoes of the Past too. Okay. So we're going to play a Vent. Playing a Vent at the bottom doesn't do anything because he regains all of that health. So I guess we're going to play a Vent in the center. Okay. Vent in the center, I guess? How much do we want to Vent for? Because you restore 20 health if you kill a unit, and you're going to kill Little Fade. So it doesn't matter how much we Vent, you still survive. Right. In that case, we do everything at the top, including the Vent. Okay. Not what I was expecting. If we vent for enough, then you could kill this one. If we vent right now, you could kill this one. I don't think we want to do that so much. We'd rather do a bigger Echoes of the Past. So play Fracture, play Fracture, play a Fracture, and Echoes of the Past on you, and then a vent. Okay. We're actually really close to winning at the top. It's just that, you know, we're almost dying too, so we have to be really careful. Okay, the Inferno at the bottom looks really nice. We've got to play Little Fade at the top. We know that much. We have to play Little Fade at the top. Let's start there. Little Fade goes at the top. And now, what do? We can play the Impish Scholar and get back Wurmkin's Tome, and then play Wurmkin's Tome on you. And then if we play an Inferno in the center, then I think that means we win next turn. Don't play the Inferno at the bottom. How weird. Alright, Inferno in the center. Play the Impish Scholar. Doesn't really matter where. So we'll play it here. We get Wurmkin's Tome. It only cost 1. Give you another multi-strike. Oh, we're winning this turn? Alright, how about that? Well, I did not expect that. But let's win. I guess we could have played the Vengeful Shard, so that we didn't take any damage. Alright, we won the Pure Chance Expert Challenge. Wonderful. Another Expert Challenge down. It was difficult at the last battle. Everything but the Last Divinity was not that hard, though. But the last battle was hard. Oh, and we Divine Mastered 3 cards. Wow, that's a lot for where we are in this playthrough. Alright, another Divine victory, a Max Covenant rank Divine victory. Surprisingly, no records. We won something on Covenant rank 25, and we didn't get a new record. That's unusual. Alright, well, let's see if we can beat another Expert Challenge next time. I'm looking forward to getting through all of these Expert Challenges. This run was my 17th unique clan combination to win at the Max Covenant rank. That also completes my 14th Expert Challenge, and Divinity Masters a whopping 3 new cards. I only have 15 cards left to Divinity Master. On the right, I once again showcase Seraph the Temperant, as he is my least defeated enemy at only 11 kills. Glad to get another. Alabaster Guardian becomes my 32nd enemy, for which I have registered 100 kills, where I stop counting. Goodbye, Alabaster Guardian, you have been checked off my list. On the left, Branded Warrior was Divinity Mastered this run, and it was honestly a decent run for this demon, who I typically give little attention to. Ritual of Battle becomes my 30th card to reach the 100 battle threshold where I stop counting. I certainly rely on this card frequently during my Hellhorned runs, and thus it joins the ranks of my most picked cards. For artifacts, Consumed Crown reaches my 10 battle threshold, and I did find it to be more effective than expected, giving many of my minions extra attack. Conscription Notice, usually a good artifact at the beginning and meaningless at the end, was surprisingly good throughout the run. It even gave me the same useful minion in multiple battles. An extremely unlikely result, and perfect for the Pure Chance Expert Challenge. Check out my tracking sheet for more information. New episodes every Saturday, and thanks for watching.